I guess.
Who is Landy Garcia?
Who is Landy Garcia? That's a good question. Well, I'm a family man first. You know, I was blessed to have, 3 children at a very young age, and I think I was talking to Harry a little bit on Saturday. Is that when me and Lou, we had our time hanging out, as single guys. I don't know if it was a growing up fast type of situation for me. I was telling Harry, I was like, if I didn't have my kids when I had them, probably wouldn't be where I am today from a focus and a dedication to my profession. I would say. I grew up in Linden, town over from these guys, and it was not a lot of opportunity for those individuals who weren't, invested in Ivy League education. We kind of been working, similar to Lou's story. I started working when I was 14 years old, and it's poverty makes you ambitious. It makes you want to strive for better things for you, for your family, and it's been a good journey. I've had a lot of turmoil in real estate. You guys are in a great time in real estate. There were times where it wasn't so great. 2007, 2010 was a rough period, and I have to say that customer service and just always doing the right thing and being honest with people is the only reason God got me through those times. Because it was there were definitely struggles there, and that caused me to reinvent myself and work harder for a quarter of the commissions that were there, and just to stay in the game, to make it through that storm was a blessing. And I pride myself on responsiveness, customer service, really just being an ethical person. I'm referencing Harry a lot because we've had a lot of conversations, and I treat our clients with the understanding that they go to sleep and wake up every day thinking about this transaction before they can get in their home. And sometimes we all get busy and get frustrated, and it's just another client. But really, if you take a step back and think about it from that perspective, I think that resonates in your conversation and your energy and the way that you treat people, and that's what gets you referrals. That's what makes you grow. That's what it just feels good, to me, to help people.
And separates you.
And it separates you from the people that are just kind of churning and burning and letting whatever other frustrations kind of come into those conversations with that particular client. They don't know, they trust you to get them to the finish line. So, I've always worked with integrity. I think, I mean, reputation is very important in this business. And, I, again, come from humble beginnings. I really, really love what I do. I don't consider it work because, I'm blessed to be able to help people every day. And, God has gotten me through a lot of turmoil, because I think, if you give out good energy, if you do good by people, good things come to you. So,
can you reference a time in the beginning or somewhere during 7 to 10 that you almost called it quits, or
Oh yeah, there were, so again, being a young parent, when my friends were out hanging out and doing all the fun stuff, when I was 23, I was married at 24. When I was 23, I had, 2 children already, a big mortgage, responsibilities out the wazoo, and, everything changed. So there was definitely a lot of days where I said, what am I gonna do? My wife went back to work.
Was there a specific day in mind that always sticks in your head?
Well, yeah, when my youngest daughter, was born, and I remember she was, 6 months old. And we were just getting by. My wife had been gone back to work, and I had decided. I said, well, we can't afford the babysitter, so I got to work from home. I'll watch the baby, and you go to work, and she getting the insurance, and again, just scraping by. I mean, that might have been 2000. 2007. You know, she was little, it was a baby.
Yeah.
So I'm working from home, trying to manage deals, being on the phone, literally running upstairs, changing the diaper, come downstairs and make her breakfast, feed her. Hopefully she's quiet for 2 hours so I can make some calls and prospect. And then, you know, I remember that day. I was like, am I going to see it? I'm going to see through this. Am I going to see through this? Literally just paying my mortgage, you know, credit, got in shit, you know, just getting by. And I said, you know, I've done right by a lot of people, and I think this is going to turn. This is going to turn. This is going to turn. But those were, you know, humbling times, man. It was really challenging to, you know, at one point, my wife was making more money than me, wow. You know, and that has its own challenges, right? but it was definitely a time where it was, you know, am I going to do this forever? Should I be doing something else? Yeah.
Those tough times that you talked about, right? What would you take? What can you take from them, like now?
Oh well, yeah. Well,
did you change anything? Or
no, I would.
What they did for Landy?
Absolutely. The tough times teach you to never quit. You know, the tough times definitely. That era. Whenever you know, it's funny because now whenever I go to make any investment or make a large purchase or do anything involving, you know, anything monetary, I remember those days. Remember what it took to kind of just get by. And I think that it humbles you in a way because, you know, if you were in this business in the early 2000s, it was very easy to quickly amass a certain stature of income. And if it taught me anything, is that this business is very cyclical. If you're gonna be dedicated to this craft, you have to understand the way money works, the financial responsibility that you need to have to make sure that you make it through those rainy days. And prior to that, again, I was 23, 24 years old. I didn't have that knowledge. So if I had to say, if it taught me any lesson, is that the strong survive, number one. Number two, be smart with your money. Mm-hmm. You know? So I'm glad you made me do this. I don't think I've ever talked like this, ever.
You can actually, like, from your story, what I take from it is, like, all those tough times made you who you are. And you can hear when you talk from experience and you talk with, like, a certain peace coming from when you speak. And I think it's from those tough times that makes you comfortable and in situations that might have been a boiling point maybe before, but now you can handle and look at it like all that pressure and just tone it down and say, it's not that serious, you know, things are going to work out, and it probably always worked out.
No, well, you know what it is, you know, a lot of belief in God. You know, it's funny when you're young, you don't appreciate all those things your parents used to tell you. I mean, I'm Hispanic and my parents are very Catholic, and everything was, you know, si Dios quiere, si Dios quiere. Everything is derived around a higher power. And then, you know, when you're young, you're too cool for that shit. You know, you don't embrace it the way that you should. And then it's funny when you got to grow up and you face those things, and sometimes opportunities come. They're like, how did this happen? You start to realize that there's someone else that's kind of guiding you through that path. You know, and you know, so embracing that and that belief is number one for me, because I put out good positive energy, do the right thing by people, and God's always got my back. And I feel like when you truly believe that, you know, opportunities favor the prepared mind. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're prepared, sometimes you say, wow, that guy's so lucky. No, he's just ready. Yep. You know, he's prepared because his mind is right. It's like kind of like what you were saying, you know, success without fulfillment is not success, right? So if you have money, but if your mind isn't right, if you're not in the right place mentally, you're not going to do the right things. You know, so again, all of that combined and just being, you know, positive all of the time. And in this industry, it's hard to do that. But, you know, I remember that. And it's when I have those moments of like, wow, this is a terrible day, just remember those days, and it's so much better.
Those things in perspective.
You know, so
Since we're on the topic today about dreams, do you have any dreams for you and your family or for your business?
Well, my dream is to elevate the loan officers that we're training that are coming up under me, so that at one point, somewhere in my 50s, I'd like to not have a cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Think about that. Think about that concept. Let that resonate. So that's my caviar dream, is to one day take the cell phone and throw it in the river, because I won't need it.
Yeah, by the time you're 50, they'll be like beepers probably.
Yeah, they'll find me somehow, or maybe I won't let go. But I'd like to, because that's the physical act of not having a phone, isn't it? It's I guess the point is to be mentally able to do that, because now, you know, I live and die by the phone. So this was good. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you please tell us a little bit about how long you've been married, your wife?
I have been married 11 years. That's 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so I've been married 11 years. My wife is a lot of the reason why I can be who I am. Best person, my best friend, very supportive. She actually last year was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. I don't know if any of you guys knew that, but we've noticed something. She went to the doctor. She got, diagnosed. Doctor came out and told me while she was still in there, he was like, yeah, it's pretty much she's got cancer and you're gonna have to deal with that, and when things like that happen, the process that you go through isn't an easy one, because the first thing you say is selfishly, well, why me? Why is this happening now? And me and my wife has always been close, had a very good relationship, but post that situation, thank God she's now cancer free. She, we did what we needed to do quickly, but her ability to rebound, she said to me, she's like, what do you worry about it for? She said, God has a plan for me and you, and it's not me checking out now. Sorry. So her ability to just look at it like something else on the to-do list, that changes things.
She was brave.
Yeah, she's a warrior.
She just ran a half marathon.
She's a warrior. So she's like, I got to get all this out the way because I got a marathon in May. I'm like, okay, see where your priorities are at. So yeah, that. My home life is a blessing. I'm blessed to have her. I'm blessed to have 3 great kids. Some of you got to meet them this weekend, and that keeps me focused. It keeps me grounded. And it's a blessing. It's not easy to be married that long in today's society. So definitely, thank you for the question. And you had the tissues ready for me.
Culture, we learn about people.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
That's good.
Anyone good? Anyone else? Andy, you're awesome.
Thank you.